You recently said, I hope there's an age limit on running for president. You said, you know, if I were just 80 years old, if I was 15 years younger, I don't believe I could undertake the duties that I experienced when I was president. Explain, because we have three candidates. One is 70, Elizabeth Warren. Then, of course, Bernie Sanders is 78, just had a heart attack. Joe Biden is 76. Why do you think 80 is too old to be president?
Well, I don't think they are too old. You know, I didn't mean to refer to anybody in specific terms. But I think if I was already 80 and I was just going into the White House, I don't think I'd have a flexible enough mind and attitude to deal with the multiple issues that a president has to confront. And I kept Harry Truman's sign on my door, you know, the buck stops here. And when anybody at a lower level, governors and so forth, can't solve a problem, it winds up in the White House. And the president needs a lot of judgment and a lot of flexibility, a lot of ability to look at two sides of an issue and come out with the best solution. So I just don't think that if I were 80 years old, I could still do the job.
Now, you famously said when you were becoming...
I'm not criticizing anybody that's running now, of course.
Understood. You famously said back in the day, you know, I'll never lie to you, when you were running for president. We are now, for the third time in American history, having an impeachment inquiry. What are your thoughts about whether that is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it still remains to be seen. I think it depends on what they revealed in the inquiry. And I'm a Democrat, so I feel pretty much like the Democratic Party does, as you probably know. But I think we still need to ascertain the facts from a very thorough investigation. And I'm very glad that the Speaker of the House has ordained that the investigation go forward, and then decide, I guess, with the whole House voting on it, whether or not to proceed with the actual impeachment of the president, which is done in the Congress, as you know, in the House of Representatives. And then the Senate, I think, is very unlikely to confirm and to actually remove President Trump from office. But if the facts reveal increasing number of things that he has actually done, then, of course, impeachment is possible, and removal from office is possible.
And do you think that the White House and the State Department are right to be blocking people from testifying, preventing the facts from coming out?
No. I think that's a departure from custom and a departure from what American people expect. And I think that's one of the main things that Americans are now considering, is the fact that the White House is trying to stonewall and not provide adequate information on which to base a good case to be made either for or against President Trump. So I think that in itself is going to be another item of evidence that can be used against him if he continues to stonewall and prevent the evidence to be put forward to the House of Representatives and the Senate to consider.
Finally, any advice for President Trump going through this?
My advice to him would be to tell the truth, I think, for a change, and also to cut back on his Twitter feeds and give the House of Representatives and also the Senate, and I'd say the general public, the evidence that we need to form a case either for or against him.
Well, President Jimmy Carter, Rosalind Carter, Jonathan Reckford, our thanks to you, our tribute to, of course, Habitat for Humanity and all that you have done. Jonathan Reckford, and congratulations on your book, Our Better Angels. Thanks so much for joining us today and continuing a tradition of you joining us from Habitat on Andrea Mitchell Reports. It's a great honor for us. Thank you both.
It's a very fine book. It's a very fine book, and it gets to the essence of what Habitat really is.
Thanks for having us on, Andrea.
We thank you for that, and our best to Mrs. Carter.
Thank you. I'll tell her in just a few minutes. Thanks, Mr. President.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.